Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. Oh, I've got Westwood up here. Sorry, Westwood. I was clicking around. I'm all over the place. We want to remember to wear red on Fridays to remember everyone deployed. That's one of the things we do here on Happy Hour because we are grateful for our military. And grab a drink and join us right after this. Cheers. All right, Westwood. I'm ready to go blackout.
You got to be careful. You can't be showing me backstage when I think I'm not going to be live.
I didn't warn you at all. Oh, I didn't realize what I was doing. I apologize. I wasn't planning on that. That was not planned.
I'm like, oh boy, that could have been. Who knows what's going on?
Who knows what could be happening?
Whoa, you never know what happens backstage here at the Westwood bar.
Oh my goodness.
Lord.
I'm so behind on the chat. We were a little bit late jumping in because we were catching up on some stuff. So thanks to everybody for being patient and chatting it up in the chat with the fam. Good to see all of you. Thurand, Warrior.
We love it.
Westwood's even in the chat.
I'm in.
JB Rants.
I don't know where I'm at. Let's see.
Who else is there? I saw Blind Dave somewhere. Oh, there's Kent.
The irony of that statement.
Experiences by St. Jerome. Blind Dave. You guys had a great episode on Hash It Out last night.
It was like it was like it was a Hash It Out with a sprinkle of happy hour.
It was.
Yeah.
You were all partaking, I believe.
I think so.
I couldn't see if Steak was partaking, but I think
he's partaking in something probably. I'm not sure what.
Yeah, he lives in the Netherlands, so he has lots of options.
Yeah, all kinds of opportunities.
Opportunities. I love your shirt.
Oh yes, it's
one of my favorite letters.
Trust the plan.
Yes, Quaker State.
It's got yes, the Quaker State. It's actually it's kind of what it looks like. It's got that long path on the tail.
That's right.
A little long, but it's the overview shot of JFK's grave, and that's the same thing on my Twitter avatar, I guess you could say, my little image on Twitter. That's the overhead view of JFK's grave. It looks like a letter of the alphabet. I don't know, the eternal flame.
It's kind of everywhere. I remember when Public introduced me to a lot of that, and we went around and saw like where Diana's grave, Neverland Ranch. Oh my gosh, where else? JFK's grave.
I'm gonna put a walking path out here. The same thing.
We need to.
Yeah, I know.
I'll help you with that.
Yeah,
that would be fun. In the cornfield, we can cut a big path.
We could, if I could.
That would be.
Litecoin would ever pump, I could buy maybe an acre over here and make it a corn maze, and in the form of a letter.
That would be fun.
Yeah,
that would be the way out.
That's the way out. It's the only way out. Got to go that way.
The only way out. Yeah. Today there has been Trump spoke. He spoke at like a young Republican thing where he wore a tuxedo.
And it wasn't blue, was it?
The tuxedo was black, which he typically wears a blue suit. And so then I was like, yeah, but it's a tuxedo. Like, you're going to look like a goof in a blue tuxedo. Maybe not. I apologize to anyone who owns a blue tuxedo. But that is like the classic thing. So I was like, that's like a little calmish. But then, was it Wednesday or Thursday when he spoke in Iowa? He was wearing a black suit, straight up black suit. I didn't notice, but my husband is like super bougie, and we used to wear all the expensive.
He's a little bit. He's a little bougie.
A little bit. But he used to wear all the expensive suits when he was selling cars, and so he notices like what Trump's wearing all the time, what his tie is, what his cufflinks are, all that stuff. And so he's like, he's wearing a black suit, and I'm like, what? And then I looked, and not only was his suit black, the banner behind him that said like, text 8022 Trump or whatever, Iowa to join the caucus and whatever. That had a black background as well. And when they zoomed out, you could really see it because the flags were in front of it. So you could see the contrast between the blue on the flags and the black on the background, and then Trump in the black suit. Then I guess it was today. I don't know. Melania. Yes. The queen bee. I love her. And, her dresses are always calms. Public had clued me in on that years ago when Trump was in office, or maybe it was when he was even running. And she's wearing like straight up all black. So
what does this mean, Lisa? Interpret it.
Let me tell you. I'm sorry. I know I'm dragging this out.
You're wearing black.
So I had to black out today.
Black it out.
But I was, I am a complete Kick Dog faithful, loyal Uncle Cliff follower, and will be till my dying day, most likely. But I have resonated so much with Janine, and when she got, I was actually watching her before Jean-Claude ever had her on his channel, which is interesting. Then they connected, and I was like, oh, that's so weird, when two people that you follow connect, and then but universe, we're all connected. So it was really cool for me. And then they kicked her off for a while. About the same time I got my hand slapped and told, no, don't say that right now. And right she now was thinking, feeling, saying some of the same things I was. And so I don't know. I've just always really resonated with her. So I was watching her and Jean-Claude do their Blackout episode. If you guys haven't seen that, they made it public. There's no charge for it, but you go on Rumble and watch it. And it was really good. And the way they talk about it is very healthy, I think, holding things lightly and, yes, but it might be how it presents to be. Anyway, you guys go watch it and use your own intuition to interpret what you think they're showing you. But she's at the end where they were talking about when it might be. And she said, because his question was, will it happen before the end of the year? Before, I don't know if he said before Christmas or before the end of the year. I don't remember now specifically. But anyway.
What's the difference?
Either way. But she said there's an 8 there, so maybe the 28th. And I was like, nope. I counted the days, and when it was 8 days until the 22nd. And Uncle Cliff, when I was on with Snippy and JC on JC's channel, Uncle Cliff was in the chat. Yep. And he said 12/22, spooks will be revealed.
Good.
I think it's the 22nd.
Good. And here's what's the significance of that? Hey, let me look at it from.
Well, that's also the solstice thing, right?
The 21st is the solstice, and what is the solstice? That is the shortest. That is the shortest day of the year, the winter solstice, where the sun dies in the southern sky. And I go out and watch it every day, just because I like to reconnect with the ancestors, that kind of thing. And so, I'm watching it lower in the sky every day. And for about 2 to 3 days, it gets to a point where it just it stops in the sky every day. That's it. And then it starts going up and up and up and up and up, and the days get longer. So the days of darkness end, and then the days of light. So the light exposing the darkness, overtaking the darkness. And so the 22nd would make sense. I mean, because we're past
they're revealed darkness, then,
and now the light starts coming out, and now
so it could even the blackout could happen before then.
Maybe we're in the blackout, in multiple ways, because
language, don't you know?
Yeah, well, exactly, because blackout of knowledge, a blackout of the sun,
dark
the sky,
ages.
the darkness. It gets dark. It's getting dark right now. Here, and the blackout that we're in right now, and hopefully we will see the light. Can you see the light? Jake.
Don't start singing. Yeah,
I can see the. Yeah, and James Brown. Can you see the light? That kind of thing. Blues Brothers, excellent movie. Musical movie, anyway. Yeah, so maybe that's it makes sense to me. Put it that way. That fits me.
You will not say Great Scott, Light Shadow.
Great Scott.
So my maiden name is Scott. And then on Twitter today, there was this guy that I guess I've been following.
I would like some great scotch.
Some great scotch. And his name's Scotto.
Okay, yeah.
And he was standing by a big Q. And it looks like my Uncle Craig, which was weird. But I haven't seen him in years, so it's probably not him. Who knows?
No coincidences or no accidents.
Weird. Yeah, I don't know.
No accidents.
I love when the world like makes you question things. I don't want to have all the answers, but I have a lot of questions.
Ain't that the truth?
I have a lot of
I
questions.
had a conversation with somebody today. I won't mention who, or today, this week. I won't mention who it is, but his wife passed away. He's like 70, and he's been with his wife for, I don't know, 30 plus years, and they met, and I know him pretty well over the years. And she passed away last year unexpectedly. Just kind of all of a sudden. And since then, he has kind of transformed himself and come back to the spirituality. He's writing a book of coincidences where he's got like 18 or 19 stories, and he was telling me about them. I said, well, send them to me if you know, I'd be honored to read them.
Cool. Yeah.
And, and he said, it's just that, and he's kind of a proud guy. He's always been kind of that guy. And, he says, I've humbled myself.
Wow.
I would have never written this book if she hadn't passed away. And I know she's around. He told me stories, of her name coming up, meeting a person. And it's just all these coincidences that shouldn't have happened and did happen. And he's just like, I know where I need to go now. And it's just because I've let go and I've allowed God, the spirit, to guide me. And I never thought he would get to this point. I never thought that would be a guy that would be telling me this story, telling me. And it was really interesting because that's one example. And his whole goal for the rest of his life right now is to wake people up. And in his view, is to bring them to Jesus. But it's to bring people to spirituality, to bring people to open up, to realize there's a higher power that you're connected to. And it was a pretty good talk. And
that's really cool. Yeah, I think if we quit like putting God in a box, quit putting Jesus in a box and saying like, well, you only believe if you believe the way I believe. Like that's where
otherwise you die.
Yeah, otherwise you die. And we're gonna be the ones to kill you because our God told us to.
And big weapons and kill you.
So
like, no,
but only electric ones because we don't want to damage the environment while we kill you.
What happens to those planes? I was watching some documentaries on not new footage, but footage from different forces in World War II. For the Russian, the Japanese, and a collection of it. And it was. I'm thinking, could those planes have made it to Pearl Harbor if they were electric from Japan? Would the battery have like died out? You know what I mean? It just makes you wonder. It's like, well,
it would have depended on if they had Teslas
or battery, because that's what
science.
Heavy batteries.
If they could have gathered the energy from the environment and been recharging while they were flying, then yes.
Sense. But if you're going with the model that they presented us, that nobody buys into, because you look at Ford cutting half of the production of the E150s, and you look at because the customer says no, we don't want this. But if you've got to carry these heavy batteries around, it'd be kind of hard to fly those things around, and maintain a charge, wouldn't it? Without, like you said, regenerating that charge.
Sam the Carpet Man, we haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. I love it when friends come back around. I saw a thing about is it the Hindenburg, the big lead one?
The Hydrogenberg.
Yeah. And I was like, how did that? I have questions.
That thing just
like when you see a bumblebee flying, I have questions.
How does that happen?
Is that a thing?
How does that hummingbird hover and be motionless in the air?
Yeah. I have questions. I have lots of questions. Lots and lots of questions. I'm sorry if you can hear my dogs barking.
Well, mine are about to chime in, I'm sure. So
they have all gone rogue. The squirrels are like,
leave the world behind. The deer are coming for us. Everything. Yeah. The animals have just, everything's disrupted, and here we are.
But so, okay, on that movie, I don't even know if we want to go down that rabbit hole.
Hey, we can.
Or has it just been beat to death? Is it just
I know it has.
over talked about at this point?
Probably.
I do think it's weird that maybe they're over talking it, saying it's a white hate or what are they saying? It's like white people hate black people movies.
And see,
But I was like,
that was the theme, but it was a subtle theme.
I don't think that was
The
the
whole.
theme.
It wasn't the whole theme.
She
I
was
mean,
saying, I hate
it was
everyone. She
exactly.
wanted to
So I
get away
mean,
from people.
right.
And then
And the daughter kind of made it into that with a couple of statements, but I don't know that that was really
that's
why
just a
she.
cranky teenager. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
You know, just because, oh, you hate me because I'm black, you know, that thing.
Self-righteous, yeah. And
Right.
she's coming into
And she
her
was
own,
self-righteous, you know, just
having
kind of like,
her, yeah. And
and
she made
rebelling and wearing a shirt with no bra and tattoos and
and
showing
her
her.
all
You
her
know,
nose
yeah,
jabbed up so she could
right.
be drug around. I don't even know. That
Exactly.
seems dangerous to me.
Drug.
Like, seems like that is dangerous.
You got a
But
hog ring in your nose. I mean,
yeah,
so you don't root.
it just seems like an accident waiting to happen. I don't know why girls do that.
I don't either.
Um, but then I was like, but then they were like flirting with each
Yeah, and then
other.
they're dancing, and then it's like, oh, I don't think she's
This is
racist.
inappropriate. We're both
Yeah,
married.
yeah, we're drunk. We're both married, and hello. So I don't think there's any racism there. I think, like you
I
said,
don't
she hated
either.
everybody. She said that. She's just like, you know,
Yeah.
my thing is I got to get, you know, be with people and make people cooperate, buy things that they don't want to buy, and I hate that. And therefore, I hate people because I see that, and it's just like you
Mhm.
hate yourself because you're actually facilitating that. And then it comes down to leave the world behind.
Mhm.
Then leave it behind.
But who did it in the movie? Who did
The
that?
kid.
The kid.
She's like, I'm
I
gonna
thought
do
of
my own thing. I'm gonna
Westwood.
trust myself. I'm out of here. I'm out.
He's like, you know what? You guys are all living your lives in suburbia and working yourselves to the bone and bitching and moaning about this and that. He's like, I'm just leaving. I'll be over
Yeah.
here and I'll be in the bar.
Hey, you know where I'm at.
I'll be in the barn in
I'm in the
in the
bunker.
middle of a cornfield. I'll be over here.
Yeah,
I
so
do
that
think
was pretty. That was
your
pretty good.
video today was very on point. And this weekend, I am going to be looking for DVD players
I'm telling you,
and VHSs.
you know, people after watching this are going to be like, all right, I'm going to every thrift sale. I'm going to every Dollar, or not Dollar General, but every what's the one? Goodwill. I mean, I'm going to go to
Goodwill.
all
Yeah.
these things because, you know, they're giving them away. Nobody wants the DVDs anymore. They're
Yeah.
going to be like stocking Blu-rays and bucket, you know, throwing $10. I got 100. Yeah, you know, and it's just
I
like,
have a
want
bunch
those.
of like the old Disney ones with all the satanic
Oh yeah,
pedo symbols in them
yeah, I
still
know.
that we picked up from a sale for like nothing that we put online thinking that people would buy them. And I don't know where they are now. I may need to relist those. They may have fallen
Did you
off.
find them? I don't know where they are.
But I don't want my kids watching them. I don't want to
I
watch
know.
them. But I'm happy with
But there
selling
might be
them.
some value in it to where I can buy more Litecoin or something.
Yeah. Or more DVDs
Or
and
more DVDs that are historical, you know. Teach a
yeah.
lesson,
I thought
entertain
that
me.
was funny.
The Friends full collection set, you know.
I know.
I've always thought, and see, this is me coming from my background, is that I've always known this intuitively, and my wife hates it because, you know, my parents used to have this house. I am not living in this house. I mean, I've had the house in the family for a while now.
Yeah.
And I used to have bookshelves in the basement, all my books. You know, I had
Oh,
my degree in English, and that's why I went to English, because of literature and all the knowledge and human nature, learning and all that stuff. And so I had books all over the place. And she's like, you have these books everywhere. We got to get rid of these books. You don't even read all these books. I'm like, yeah, but I got to have them. So what do? I bin them up and I put them in the container. I put them in all these places. And like, I ain't getting rid of them. You know, it's like, not going to do it because I know I'm going to be able to use them. So I've been pulling some out, you know, since Camila's, you know, doing what, you know, homeschool thing. And so I've always thought that, man, what a danger it is to put all of your investment into the cloud, into an
yeah.
external source to where all your information's stored out there. When, you know, oh, that movie's not on there anymore. Wizard of Oz, we scrubbed it. You can't watch it anymore. Or whatever movie it may be. It's like, okay, I want the physical representation of that movie. I want that thing in my possession. I want that book in my possession. I want those things to where I can go to the source and not have
Mhm.
it manipulated digitally. You know, and the blockchain fixes that. But, you know, there's a cost to putting on the blockchain, you know. But having those things in your possession, I think, are very valuable. And people just give that stuff away. They give away gardening books. You
Oh,
know, you go to
I
they give away
rescued
all these wonderful books and all this
one of my
knowledge.
Creature from Jekyll Island books. I
Yeah,
rescued from a sale. They wanted to like literally give it away, and I was
throw
like,
it
"Here's a
away.
dollar
Take
at
it.
least."
Put it in a box.
Yeah, I filled
Free.
wrong taking it. I've got all these Jackie after Jack, Kennedy, America's Son, JFK and Jackie.
Right, all that history,
Yeah, I've
all
got a
the
bunch of
pictures. I mean, I got a
all of
JFK
them were
book
Trump's tweets.
for like 50 cents at a church sale, and the lady that was ringing me up at the church sale, she's like, "Oh yeah, I love that book."
I've been wanting to go to a church sale. We don't have those around here. I'm
Oh man,
dying.
you go in there and they got all these books that people donate, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I always love that book," and it's got pictures, full color, JFK, and all this stuff. I mean, that's how we maintain history. I mean, because nobody can speak anymore because we're all broken LOL language, you know, on text messages. We don't have an oral tradition we can pass down. So, you know, maybe we can somehow survive, you know, and not lose the Tartarian age or whatever age it is right now, and pass that knowledge along to where people can, you know,
I
maintain
heard
a
a
progression
term.
of humanity.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, we're good.
I heard a term. Actually, I was logging things on my Etsy store and my eBay store, and it said American Empire, because I was doing these colonial blue, all this depression glass stuff, like some of this. Hold on, we just took pictures of some of it. This is just a couple pieces, but this colonial blue stuff, and they said American Empire.
Really?
Is this the death of the? Have they already named it? Like, has that been put into?
I know what you're saying. Yeah, that was from the American Empire.
When is the American Empire?
I guess we've
Right
been
now?
living it. Yeah, we've been living in it since, you know, 1913.
That's the first time I've heard that, though.
I've never heard it. I mean, you know, facetiously I say it, you know, and other people say it. Oh, it's
Right.
the empire, like the Roman Empire, the American Empire. Here we are, the fall of America. It's just like the fall of Rome kind of thing.
It's
But, you know,
literally a
who stamps it
category
on something?
on eBay or Etsy. I think it was eBay now.
Really?
American Empire.
So they already know it's dead.
They already know it's
That's a
dead.
historical reference, the American
Yes,
Empire.
that means in the past.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I used for the tag today the I'm gonna have to put on my thinking girl glasses. Hold on.
Pull me a card.
The hat has to go off.
The American Empire dead?
The US debt clock yesterday. I believe it was yesterday. Oh, that's a nice watch.
The Litecoin clock says it's Litecoin time.
Hey, you can get one of those. There's
From Coin Vigilante.
Yep, there's a link at clintwestwood.net.
Yes, sir. Then there's a
And
link in every video that I make on YouTube, in the description, but you know, everywhere. Buy from these people, you know, Litecoin, pay with Litecoin.
Support the fam.
Use you know, let the community build itself, because that's what we need to do. Build a new community, new grass shoots, you know, all these things. Green shoots, what do they call it?
Grassroots,
green shoots. I don't even know.
Green shoots.
What happens at happy hour?
You know, I don't know.
Strong gin and tonics in this freaking Jimmy Buffett glass that I bought from the lovely Litecoin.
I know, I love
on her eBay store.
That's right. So this is pretty cool. This is the new picture. If you go up here, if you go to usdebtclock.org, and then click open secret window, there's a new picture every couple days. It says the Great Awakening. It's got the new U.S. Treasury certificate, which I thought it said note the other day. Now it says certificate. The United States of America debt-free currency. 1010, and instead of all the satanic like symbols, it has like the little fish IXOYE, which is what the good agents, when they need help, that's how they find each other. And that's in history how the Christians would secretly identify each other. The other thing, I heard this lady talking. It was an ad for, I don't know if it was for a homeschool or for some kind of helping. PragerU has homeschool curriculum. Yes, I think I shared it with you.
Link. Yep, you did.
Westwood. And so it's one of the pieces or things that I use, and I use pieces from it with Canon. And so she was explaining in this commercial that our Constitution is based on the Magna Carta, and that it holds back government because our rights come from the Lord, come from God. And that's why it's not that all religion is protected under the Constitution, but like Satanism is not protected under the Constitution because that does not come from God. You could have that argument.
You could have that argument.
She had this very
Because does that religion protect the rights of others? I don't think it is.
I
If you
don't
say
think it
do as thou
does.
willst, I mean, if do as thou willst means, hey, do whatever you can. I'm stronger than you. F you. That's not the natural order of things. I mean, you
Right.
could say that in the animal kingdom. I guess you could make that argument, but
And we were formed on Judeo-Christian values, the US. And those are the values that are protected under the Constitution, not other religions.
and here's one interesting thing. It's, I'm just going to say it because it was in my head, and it popped in there. It's like, I got a spirit sent me a message. No, it was the Jeffersonian Bible. If you go look that up, basically what he did, if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, in the Jeffersonian Bible, Thomas Jefferson went through and essentially took out everything except the words of Jesus, and that was it.
Interesting.
And when you
So only the red words.
you can't go exactly. You can't go wrong because the world needs a lot of Jesus. I'm just saying. I mean, you can't really go wrong if you just listen to the principles of Jesus. I mean, if you listen to the principles of Confucius, if you listen to because they're universal truths. I mean, and that's why they resonate and that's why they persist. That's why they've lasted all this time. It's not necessarily that this person begat this person, that person, that person. That's all the justification that, hey, this person is the Messiah or this person is this, but you got to look at the source of what those people said and what those words were. And were those words of truth? And if they were, then they're connected to the source. They're connected to God, whoever God is, or whatever you want to call it, the universe. And so I think, that always resonated with me, the Jeffersonian Bible, because that was cutting away the fat.
That takes all the legalism to Evolutech, Valhalla Wisdom's point. It takes all of the legalism out of it. Jesus was in there flipping tables, had, righteous anger. It was about, it wasn't about like, he came to free from the laws, from the legalism. So anyway, I know we're drinking at the bar and talking about
we don't
Jesus.
want to go too far into that.
We don't want to go too far into it, but
Right.
it is part of the Great Awakening, and I think it's going to be part of the blackout. I think they're going to expose a lot. I don't know how much I'm supposed to, I don't know if I should talk about any of this stuff, but I'll talk about a little bit of it.
A little bit. That's a little smidge.
A little smidge. I just share things that other people said.
Yeah, it's not me.
I'm
just
a
messenger.
I'll pull a Polly P.
I wouldn't me.
Wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
But someone else did say that. Let me see. Hold on. Let me show you what someone else did say. Oh gosh, Melania.
Hey, we had the ledger issue. While you're looking that up, the whole ledger issue. The ledger nano, the ledger nano S, the ledger this, ledger that. Blockchain ledger, but the little ledger hardware wallet, we had a little problem with their code, earlier this week, to where maybe your coins weren't safe. And I was thinking, ledger stands for ledger crypto get lost, ledger crypto get stolen, ledger crypto
so
go somewhere else. It is sad, but I've never had faith in that. I've never used it, and that's just my instincts and my gut feeling. I just never like to use it. And last night we talked about Dave, I don't know if it was on the show, maybe after the show, to where it's like, you know what? I'm at the point where I just want to put everything on paper wallets, and hold it that way and have the private key right there physically, to where, you can import that into a core wallet. And I mean, you kind of get to that point to where all this technology and all these companies are supposedly protecting you aren't really protecting you, because code can get flawed or a person can have access to it. It's just, I don't know, man.
Started.
I know. But anyway.
Oh, Lord. Yeah. Okay. So.
Did you find it?
Yeah. So I went down a little rabbit hole. I happened to be like, something caught my eye in the corner of the page while I was listing items. And while I was actually I was watching Hash It Out last night. And then, so I have, been introduced to Mark Narioff's story and how he was brought in to like help with the restructuring or evaluate Ethereum early on. And he saw some things that he didn't think were good. He gave him some advice. You guys can read up on that and what his opinions are on that. I advise you to look into that. Really brilliant guy. I think he's one of the good guys. He refused or didn't refuse, but he did not accept the Ethereum or the money that was offered to him to work on the project, which I think is like pretty amazing because who knows what it would be worth now. But he did record some interviews or some conversations, and in that there was a conversation about where Vitalik's talking about owing Sweden or making deals with Sweden and owe Sweden a lot of money, or not a lot of money. I don't want to misspeak. Anyway, go listen to the recording yourself. I'm not sure what all it.
I don't either, but isn't Vitalik's father like connected to Putin somehow?
Oh, I don't know that. I hadn't
think he
heard
might
that
be.
one.
Somebody needs to look into that.
Somebody could look into that.
There's
as
like
well.
this Russian connection, and I'm not that guy that says it's Russian collusion, this and that, because Hillary's the one that sold out uranium with the one dude, and I can't remember his name.
Well, the Russian collusion guy that was blaming Trump today
yeah, now he's in
got
jail
arrested.
for 4 years.
Yeah, he just was convicted today of
and all
Russian
these people talk
collusion.
about those round things that you cut up in slices that might have pepperoni on them, that might come through a gate at the White House. I mean, talking about how that's not real, but those people who have been debunking it in the media, because it's all paid for, Mockingbird Press, those people are getting arrested because they're complicit in the whole thing that they were trying to debunk. Anyway, follow that trail.
Part of what I think the reasoning for the blackout coming is going to be, I believe it's going to be this. And everybody should do their own research. Everybody should figure it out for themselves. But this guy, Boring Sleuth, has some really interesting stuff that makes you think. So this is his opinion. It says he's trying to share it alone, could save users tens of billions by now. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, we should not expect positive change in this world, or we're not brave enough to speak all the truths. Conflict is the most powerful engine to change. Internal, external conflict is good. Thread showing Huobi's CCP ties. And then he goes into this whole, and he found this information. It's my understanding because it says FTX trial shows CCP was involved with Huobi and OKC. And that's part of what grabbed my attention because I was like, oh, OKC, that's where I live.
Right.
But
it's talked about that last night with Johnny.
Yeah.
We got into that. Yep.
Yeah, not OKC. So confirming what I told you in July. So he shows the receipts from CC affiliates officers were behind setting up Huobi exchanges, blah, blah, blah. Crypto cartel. And it goes on. Caroline Ellison's testifying with the SBF trial that Sam paid $150 million bribe to Chinese government officials. And
who didn't he bribe?
Well,
I mean, give me a break. With
everyone he
everybody's
shook
money,
hands with, I think.
with
I don't
everybody's
know.
money that they deposited and thought they had Bitcoin and Litecoin, but they didn't hold it, and they were taking that money and buying influence all over the world.
But it says, so what does this mean? It's up for you to decide. And so then people can decide, but talks about, other things, Ethereum and some different companies. I don't know. But then there was a map. So in Stephen Narioff's, I don't know, there's just some things that cross over where and I don't know because I don't have all the details and I'm just looking at a map of something, but there's a circle or a map of Sweden, Clinton Foundation.
Yeah.
And what was the other one?
Erickson, you were talking about.
Erickson. So my Senator Lankford called this guy back who had given this information and said, we're turning this over for investigation to the whoever does national defense kind of thing. And so they are turning over that information, and that's why I think and the guys that were talking were like, they have to take down the grid to stop the bad things that are happening to the children, and take down this whole system of money because it's so infiltrated and
Well, that's the thing. How do you unwind something that's so huge? I mean, it's based on all this artificial money that everybody's wanting to get a handout and or you're wanting to grab from the trough. How do you break that down? Because we've all been so enslaved by it and so
mhm,
manipulated to want it. And bigger stack I have, more money I have, more Lambos, more this, more that, more power.
all the
Well,
things.
yeah, all the things. How do you
Mhm.
get to that point? How do you fix anything when it's all based on that? And that's the basis of it. And I mean, that's the foundation of it. I mean, you got to like reset somehow.
Yeah. So watch the video yesterday with Johnny. It shows some of the map and stuff. Well, I can pull it up again.
Johnny
But
Litecoin.
yeah, but this was the one page that I mostly hold on, I'll show you.
Like you said, you need to put it on a big and
And
not
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 yeah,
not
you kind of have to put
fractionalized.
it all together to be able to see it like it
Not
won't make sense.
fractionalized like your money. Fractional reserve system. The
Mhm.
creature from Jekyll Island. G. Edward Griffin.
That's right. I've
Go
got a
check that
copy
out.
right over there.
Yes. Salvaged. Saved.
Right by my picture of Westwood.
Hmm.
Um, then and if you want to know who's protecting that, then you just go back to so they today Coinbase was denied the clarity on
And
the
they
ET.
sued today. They sued the SEC today, I think, because of that. That was their recourse.
Okay.
They're like, oh no, you're not going to do this. We're going to take you to court.
Yeah, because I saw Tom Emmer say look, they are literally the SEC is literally going against their mandate, which is to bring clarity. And so like if you're not gonna do your job, why do we need you
Yep.
around
Did
once
you see?
again?
Here. Okay, this is what it all comes down to. I mean, Lisa, you use your instinct on all this. You use your gut feeling, and this is what leads you where you want to go. So, I mean, if this resonates with all of you and you want to look into it. By all means, go down that rabbit hole. I saw the interview with, I don't even know who the interviewer was, but he's Gary Gensler. She asked about cryptocurrency. Hey,
Yep,
you're looking at ETFs, and then he just
this
shuts
is
it
it.
down.
I've got it right here.
Shuts it down, says, hey, the treasury markets, this is it. This is everything. Treasury, treasury, treasury. He was so arrogant and
Yes.
so
Here,
condescending
let
in
me play it
this.
really quick. Let me
Yeah,
play it
do
really
it.
The commission and the staff of the commission is still hard at work on a number of issues. One of them dealing with a number of filings of spot Bitcoin ETFs. Mr. Chair, I have to ask you this question. There has been a lot.
We did something very significant about the $26 trillion treasury market, which is really the base of our entire capital markets. It's how we fund our government. It's how our Federal Reserve does monetary policy. It's how we maintain the dollar dominance around the globe.
It's how we control
And
you.
you want to ask me about crypto?
In my defense, Commissioner Ueda also brought up crypto in this open meeting.
Priorities. I mean, the U.S. Treasury market is a very consequential, very important market. Crypto securities are not only much smaller, it's not how we fund our government. It's not how we conduct monetary policy. And for many investors, they've been harmed in that market because there's too much non-compliance. It's not just non-compliance
Liar.
with securities laws, it's non-compliance with a raft of other laws. Our sister regulator in the market space, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, the U.S. Department of Treasury, and Financial Crimes Enforcement. But again, I do ask, and if you look at the focus and the priorities, the U.S. Treasury market and what we did today is really quite important to our capital markets.
Absolutely, and that's why we have discussed it, but you are actively engaging with a number of matters related to crypto specifically. So I think, sir, this is fair game, especially when you are having staff meeting with a number of issuers in recent days.
I'm glad that you at least now agree that the priorities were more to the Treasury market. So what is your question about?
Oh, he's such a
What a piece. this
What a
is where
weirdo.
this is, I mean, and I like that. She's just like, I mean, you are trying to regulate it. I mean, you are trying to stamp it down. You did let FTX, have multiple meetings with you and the White House.
Right.
And
He
then they
gets to choose
imploded
the
and took all
winners
the
and
money.
losers of the
Exactly.
crypto market, but then
But
say that they're all criminals.
yeah, exactly. And then how he says securities, crypto securities, because they're all securities. That's
They're
what he's
not.
implying. But he knows they're not. I mean, it's just all this double speak. This guy, if you're watching a movie, if you're watching that movie of Purdue Pharmaceuticals with Michael Keaton, I can't remember what the name of the movie is, to where they're just putting it's putting Oxycontin out there, it's undiagnosed pain or untreated pain,
Yes,
and
it's
all that
terrible.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, this is the kind of guy, if you're watching a movie, you're like, this scumbag is the guilty one. I mean, it's so obvious. I mean, hey, the treasury market, this sustains everything we have. This sustains our Martha's Vineyards houses. This just sustains, the police force that covers up people that drown, in the water outside my mansion. I mean, you know, and now that you understand that, and now that you've admitted to that, which she didn't, now that I'm glad.
This is how we
Now
control
ask me
the
the
markets.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
He literally spells it out. And that's why I was like, look, guys, he's telling you how to get out of the corruption.
Exactly. Don't buy the treasuries. Let them
Opt
fail.
out.
Let them fail. Quit participating in the Vampire Casino. Quit letting your pension funds buy up all this stuff and all these derivatized bull shark assets, and become your own bank, become sovereign. And you've got the ability to do that with cryptocurrency. Now, let me get to the point that I made today.
Yes.
All right. Last Saturday, and I didn't want to do it. And I'm just like, because I can do it cheaper on my own. And anyway, so I had my neighbor across the street put in solar panels. And it's grid tied solar panels, get tax credits, all that stuff. So somebody came over last Saturday and, gave me the spiel, the salesman. And, hey, you can do it here at your place. It's going to cost you this, 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 and this. And I said, can I pay with crypto? Can I pay with Litecoin specifically? Ask your boss. It's a local guy. He started his own company. And, they're this, they're that. And he's like, I said, just ask him. Otherwise, I will not even consider buying anything. And because I want to pay with Litecoin, and not right now, but maybe later when it goes up. But he got back to me today. He sends me a message, leaves me a phone. Before we got on happy hour, I called him back and said, hey, I'm about to go live. It was a good thing you got a hold of me, because I was about to put it on do not disturb, and you wouldn't have gotten blah blah blah. And he said, my boss said that he'll take payment in Litecoin. I said, oh, I'm just curious, what platform does he want to convert that to dollars? Because, he's running a business. He's got to pay his employees and all this stuff. And he's like, no, he just wants to take the Litecoin.
Cool.
And I'm like, really?
Now you're a little torn.
I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I was surprised. I said, well, I told you to ask for a reason.
Wow.
And the owner's like, no, just pay me in Litecoin. Well, no crap. He just wants to get $70 Litecoin, for a big installation. He knows he's a businessman. He understands things. He understands how it works.
That's like a cash deal, isn't it?
Kind of.
It's peer to peer.
Send it to the wallet. Here, send it to my wallet, and good to go. It was a very interesting thing. But that tells you the real world peer-to-peer use case for a real asset, real labor, real work, because I saw what happened. I helped my neighbor out and, opened the door up for him, and did this, and I saw the whole installation go down. And I mean, there's work that's involved, there's materials that are involved, and this company, this owner of this company is, he's got to make money. He's got to pay all this stuff and all these things, but he was willing to take the Litecoin directly and not transfer it to dollars because he didn't want to.
So he's diversifying. He's probably seeing the death of the dollar, as like the rest of us are, with this inflationary recession that's coming up. And he's like, okay, how can I hedge my bets with what I have in my possession? I think that's what everybody's like, okay, what do I have around me? What's in my possession? How can I?
You know what? You could have done
prepare?
the same thing with silver. I think you could have done something, and said, "Hey, listen, if I pay him in silver, he'd probably be like, yeah, you know what? I don't have to go out and buy the silver. I'm going to go through an intermediary. I'm going to direct payment, a peer to peer, like the white paper says, peer to peer. Transacting value, and some people get it. And if you don't ask the question, it's not going to work. It's not going to happen. We have to start asking the question. We have to start opting out and saying, will you take this form of payment? Will you take my energy in the form I have it locked up into? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. It was that easy. It was that easy.
The
Just
answer's always no until you ask.
Absolutely. Yep. You got to ask the question.
I've always said that.
Just like the salesman, you got to ask for the sale. Otherwise, it's no.
Ask
you got
for
to
the
ask for the
sale.
sale.
Yeah. Charlie says ask for the
You
sale.
got to ask for the sale. You got to always ask for the sale. And, and that's the thing. I hate salesmen. It really bothers me. But he
I
asked
like
for the
one
sale.
of them. There's one salesman I really like.
He asked for the sale, and I said, well, if I'm going to do it, I have to do it this way. And he's like, then he asked, and he was shocked, and this is a younger guy.
And that probably woke him up as well.
It did wake him up.
Can you imagine
never do anything,
the conversations?
Exactly. And that's what you have to do, though. I mean, it's like
now that guy is like having to educate his whole staff on, okay, there's this stuff called cryptocurrency. Right. And do you know what Bitcoin is?
I know. And I'm thinking, oh, hey, Johnny Litecoin in here, how are we going to get the payment? And this guy's like, no, I'll take it.
That's awesome.
Send it to my wallet, please. Send Litecoin to me, and it's just crazy.
That's awesome.
But that's what you got to do. I mean, it really is. You've got to ask the question. And all right.
That's so good. So good.
Sound money for the digital age. Right there. Most undervalued asset, maybe next to silver. I don't know. They're both very undervalued.
Dang.
What they can do and buy. I mean, you could have solar panels that take care of all. I could put these things up, pay with Litecoin. I would never have to pay another electric bill.
Well, I was watching Bix today, and is it China or Brazil? Somebody was buying the crap out of silver.
Yeah, somebody put a big.
Bix said
it was a
it
big
may have
purchase.
been China.
I don't think it was.
You don't think it was?
No, it's somebody else.
Maybe it was Brazil.
In the chat, I know you've watched it. I didn't watch it.
I just watched it a little while ago.
You got to take notes.
Well, I always think I can remember everything.
I know. That's the way I am. And I'm like, I forgot.
India. Thank you. India just bought
India.
Crap ton of silver.
That's why I love everybody in the chat. Because this is what the community does. I mean, we help each other out, lift each other up, and get the truth out there.
Yeah.
Love it. Great people in the chat.
Okay, I can't. JB. Thanks, JB, for watching. And G Graham, India. Warrior says India. Yeah, you guys were all watching India too. That's awesome. They're on it. Yeah, he's the godfather of my family for educating us, silver pilling us.
Right. I guess.
Have they talked about silver pill yet? I don't think anybody's coined silver pill yet.
Well, there you go. You just did. Just like you coined Litecoin Lisa.
Litecoin Lisa and
make
silver
it happen.
pill.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
We're decentralized.
Just do it.
There's no copyrights on any of this stuff.
Nobody gives free men don't ask permission.
Absolutely. Sasquatch lives where he lives and he doesn't ask for permission.
Yeah. Oh, have you heard of these Solana phones? I was watching or listening to Crypto Blood, and he was talking about these Solana phones sold out.
I saw them a while back.
But Solana goes down so much, so I was like,
it goes down more than anyway.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
I don't either. But I'll tell you what, if you want to make fiat, if you want to make dollars,
oh my gosh, we are like struggle busing on.
I watched Solana go to $8, and I'm like, I should probably buy some, and I didn't. And now it's like over the price of Litecoin right now. Think how much more Litecoin I could have, like real money. But the thing is, it's just what do you put? And I don't beat myself up over it because I look at it like I didn't believe in it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what am I going to do? Go pray to a false god? I mean, go on my knees and do these. And it's like I couldn't do that.
I don't like what they made us do with Santa.
My own. Yeah, exactly. The post that it's just. Look at the solstice, the sun in the sky, everybody, the energy that comes from the sky, all these things. That's what solar comes from. It's just the magic of all this stuff. You go outside and think about it. Think about this. We're all electric beings, and we go outside. We're just like solar panels. I mean, everything activates on your skin and it creates vitamin D and all, because of the sun. And it's no wonder why all of these quote pagan people worship the sun and said, oh my gosh, it's dying in the sky. And then after the solstice, it's coming up. There's hope. I mean, we are rejuvenated.
It reminds me of when you guys were
Resurrection.
looking last night on the Hash It Out, you guys were looking at the what's the chart that's human emotion of like the
Yes,
markets.
yeah, absolutely. That chart. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so telling that they
It's human
made
nature.
a chart because it is so
Seasons.
repetitive. It's
Seasons.
human nature. Just like the sun will come and rise again and fall again.
Every time there's a time for every season. And I mean,
Yeah.
and that's biblical. And I mean, that's in all religions. And, today our lesson with my daughter was Demeter and Persephone. Demeter was the Greek goddess or the Greek person, took care of the earth. Everything flourished all the time. Everything was, always the same, like Florida, it's always the same. It's always warm. And then all of a sudden, Hades comes from hell and takes Persephone down underneath. And it's like, oh, I need my daughter back. And so she gives up, I can't find my daughter, and so the earth goes to hell, basically. And, she doesn't take care of anything, and it just everything. And so, okay, fine. We make this agreement. We can't have this. Persephone can come back for 6 years.
Would you record these?
I know I should.
Would you please seriously record these lessons?
Well, this is recorded. I mean, this is the lesson in a nutshell.
But how you teach them to her?
Yeah, I know I should do that. I mean, so much knowledge.
It would be epic. And like, no one is teaching Greek literature to.
But see, that folds into all of our life, and
we're
all
missing
of the other
so
religions,
much.
And that's it. We talked about Pandora's box last week, and this week it's Persephone going to Hades, and then coming back for 6 months, and that's when the earth flourishes because Demeter, her mother, says, "Oh my gosh, I have my daughter back. Just my daughter's coming back tonight," and I'm like, rejuvenated, and get to see my daughter. It's like, yeah, oh, thank you, and it's just like that feeling that, okay, she's back, and the world lights up, and now I'm going to tend to the flowers. Now everything's going to bloom, and all the green shoots come up. And and then when she goes back and lives for the 6 months, in the underworld with Hades, it kind of gets dark, and you kind of lose your spirit, lose the light, and then she comes back, and then it's just that rejuvenation. It's these cycles, and that's why I look at crypto cycles. That's why it all resonates with me. All these things are cycles. Everything's a cycle. It's all emotion. It's all what's lost, what's gained, and it's all so ancient. I mean, we've always been the same people. When you look at Greek plays, when you look at the ancient stuff, when you read Beowulf, I mean, read all these ancient things, and then all the things that we've lost before that. Think of all the things we've lost, and all the history that we've lost, and all the knowledge that's been lost. But ultimately, it comes down to, and that's why I say trust yourself, because you've got it all inside. We give it different names. It's an Akashic record. Okay, we've got all the information inside. We can terabytes of information on our DNA, and it's all inside of us. And these lessons, these myths, these parables, all these things just kind of bring that stuff out, and it's important to do that. And so I talked about it last night. Steak is a very analytical guy on Hash It Out, and he looks at this and this and this. But I try to pull the spiritual side into it, because it's like, I don't know any of this stuff. You've done all the research, but you know what? Everything I see in my daily life kind of resonates with that. And, I look at it from the spiritual side, to where it's like, I'm going to go look at the sun. I'm going to go look at this. I'm going to go look at the plants grow. I'm going to take the dogs out. I'm going to look at real things. And, when those things line up with what you're saying, with the science that you're looking at, it's all the same.
Steak is also like, I adore him, and he's really intelligent. I have a lot of respect for him. He also has to be, so when you're, he's also very compassionate, and emotionally intelligent, and he has been tasked to work in the world. And so, because he's a social worker, and so that can like really drain you or put you in a dark place when you are constantly faced with like so much darkness every day, because he's always seeing like he's seeing a lot of hardship every day.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And he's this light and this intelligence and this bright person. He's there to help that, but it's a drain. I mean, they say like most caseworkers, I don't know what his position is or what he does specifically, but caseworkers in America, like they turn over every 18 months because they get
just too
burned
much.
out.
It's too much.
It's so much to see
It's like being in the
children
crypto market.
abused and tortured and, families falling apart and people being ugly to you and abusive to you and them. And, being in an angry system is emotionally exhausting, and it affects everything around you. Yeah.
It is. And you can lash out and you can blame everybody else. And, people have a bad day and it's like, oh, F you, I'm just trying to hold the door open. I'm just, it's like, but where they're coming from is, and see, that's all manipulated. It's all engineered. And usually it comes down to money. It's like, I don't have enough money to do this. I can't do this. I can't buy my kids anything for Christmas. It's just, and it's, at some point we have to step back and realize we're human beings. All right. We're the most powerful things on this planet. And it's not because we can build big guns and do all the things and break things and, dominate the world. No, it's because at some point we reconnect with the world and we reconnect with the beauty of the world, God's artwork, and, on this earth. And we can say, okay, we are all connected. We are all the same. We are all spiritual beings. Everything on this planet is a spiritual being. That blade of grass that you might mow down, it screams when you mow it. If you do scientific research on it, that plant that you pull out of the ground, an animal, whatever it is, we are all connected. It's all life. It's all that life force. We are all that universal truth, that life. And you've got to get to that point. And what they've done is completely artificialized absolutely everything. Artificial news, artificial landscapes, cities, artificial everything, artificial crops that grow in the field. They've done everything to tamp out humanity, to completely destroy it. And we have to take a step back and say, you know what? Why did I come here? Why am I here? And am I going to allow these vampires, these entities, these things that are unnatural to control me, to stop me from being who I am and making the decisions that I know that are right inside me? Because I've got all the truth in here. I got all this information and all this magical stuff because it really is. I mean, how does all this stuff work? You look at the human body. Oh, it's all connected. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh. So this is so insane.
Stop trusting vampires and be who you are.
So there was a thing about like, we're gonna have to hold everybody gently because they're gonna be so so we just saw like the SEC got called out by Coinbase for like, look, you won't give us clarity. We're asking for clarity. And that's, and then Tom Emmer was like, look, that's literally their mandate. So that's a 3-letter agency failing. Then the FDA and the CDC. Now this is like, this is
from the FDA, Emergency Use Authorization of Medical Products and Related Authorities. For the FDA to issue an emergency use authorization, there must be no adequate, approved, and available alternative to the candidate product for diagnosing, preventing, or treating the disease or condition. If ivermectin were an effective treatment, the vaccines never would have gotten emergency use authorization in the US.
If a viable therapeutic strategy existed for outpatients, then the logic supporting universal vaccination with
about like the
no, but that statement's true. I mean, and that's it. It's all legalese to where it's like, well, we don't have an alternative treatment, and that's why they didn't talk about hydroxychloroquine. That's why they didn't talk about.
Well, but there's a thing that we're in Australia. They came out and they're like, "Oh my gosh, this even cures AIDS." They didn't talk about
eating fresh fruits and vegetables. I mean, hello.
Yeah, no, they're saying it even cures AIDS. Why is that not showing up now?
If you look at AIDS, I mean, let's get on to that subject. You look at AIDS, it is it's just like MS. And I had a mother-in-law that we took care of who died of multiple sclerosis. We did everything we could to help her, let her live a longer time than she should have.
Use authorization.
Sorry, go ahead.
But what it comes down to, it's like, we really can't define it. It's like your body's kind of getting ravaged by this thing, and so we're going to call it this. That's like AIDS. It's like acquired immune deficiency syndrome, or your immune system breaks down. Well, why is it breaking down? What are you eating? I mean, look at a bag of Doritos. red 5, yellow this, that, whatever dyes in it, this oil genetically modified. I mean, all these things that, the advertisers say, hey, watch football and eat Doritos, watch football and drink this. And I mean, all these things, and you start looking at the labels, you're like, holy crap, man, this stuff is not good for me. This is bad stuff. And of course, it's going to just completely destroy your immune system. Well, your immune system's messed up. I guess you got AIDS. Okay. I mean,
I cannot believe. So there was this other video that I tweeted out, and it said it was a news station that was making an announcement about ivermectin. They were calling it lice treatment, and they were saying that it's now curing AIDS and COVID and something else. And now it's totally missing from my feed, of course. But
yes, eat bugs that you can't digest, that the human body has no ability to do.
Is used
wait, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Westwood. What did you say?
No, I mean, eat, somebody in the chat said, eat your bugs. And it's like, okay, so you got the chitin in it. You got these things that are not digestible by human beings. And so let's grind that up and, it's protein though. It's good. It's a meat substitute, let's go ahead and eat that, that the human body can't really digest. And so what they're giving us are things that are filler food that we cannot digest. And then, well, I guess you're sick. I don't know why you got sick. And so here's a drug, take this with all the side effects, and then we're going to sponsor all the news shows that give you all the information that we want to steer you toward. It's just like, if you turn the TV off, and I made one video this week, and when you disconnect and you get away from everything and you just don't participate in the system, what you participate in is you kind of go back to, I'm going to go out and watch the sun. Oh, cool. I'm going to go out and watch last night the Geminid shower. I'm going to go watch the falling stars. And, then I look this way because, my one dog, she's like, I got to go out. She's barking at me. I'm like, all right, fine. You're not ready. I take her out. We go out. And I'm like, what's that? I look up over here where there's no Geminid showers. And there's a falling star that's just like, and it's just like, there's so many beautiful things in this world, on this planet, and who we are. That get us. It's like art, it's like falling from the sky. And what's that do to you at a physical level? I mean, you can eat nasty things and it makes you feel sick, but then you go outside and then you look at these things and wow, it's just like the heavenly bodies falling, these things falling, and it does something else to you. It like puts you at another level. And so many people, they try to disconnect us from that, from the source, from what is out there, by putting us in artificial cities, by putting us in artificial food, making us eat it, putting us in an artificial reality, putting us in all these things. The Matrix, they want to keep us in that, to where we are not actively participating human beings anymore. We are not feeling things. Our emotions are not connecting to real things. They're being manipulated into what they want to manipulate us into. And we've got to get away from that. And if my pension's gone, so be it. If this is gone, so be it. Because I'm going to live every day as a human being connected to this earth and connected to what created me and what I'm a part of. That's what you need to do.
Hey, look, there's a new thing where you can chat live on Twitter while we're streaming live on Twitter. Welcome, Andy Bailey. That's kind of cool.
Really?
Yeah, because look, Andy just showed up. I've never had this before. I've always streamed to Twitter, but I could never see anybody's comments.
No, because it's just like it flies by. You don't see like the historical record of the.
Well, there was never a place, like I watch people's videos all the time on Twitter, but there's nowhere to like chat. So
you can send a message. You used to be able to send a message like Periscope, and then it would show up and then it'd go away. But like on YouTube, it's got the whole scroll list. So they've got that on Twitter now, to where you can see everything that everybody said.
That's cool. Well done, Elon.
Think of what you will. Think what you will of Elon, but
or whoever, whatever you are, Elon the AI,
of the Elon.
The entity that is known as Elon. It makes me think of, remember when Prince, before he passed?
That's what I thought about. Yeah.
Of course it is. You and I are always thinking about things. Remember when Prince transmissioned? I just use the word transmission. That's weird.
Transmutated.
Okay. Transmutated. I don't know. But he became the symbol and he wasn't himself anymore. He was like, no, I'm this. How do you even like, is that just like, what is that? I don't know what that symbol is or how his mother told him, I love you, good night or whatever. But, I feel like some of that is going on. Anyway.
Yeah, I think so. And I think the world, there are symbols everywhere. There are things that we resonate with. I mean, you think about, look at the hieroglyphs. I mean, look at what they're doing. They're using symbols. They're using symbology to hit something in your soul, to hit something that resonates with you over time. I think there's a lot of that out there. And you look at corporations now, and they take it from a different perspective of where, look at an Oreo cookie. Everybody loves the Oreos dipped in milk. Look at the top of an Oreo cookie.
I would never buy one ever again.
I mean, seriously though, look at the top of an Oreo cookie and what are all these patterns and designs? And then you start looking at corporations. You're like, wait a minute, that symbol. What is that symbol? And so they put all this symbolism in front of you. Is it good? Is it bad?
And then they promote dipping it in cow milk. And what do you do? Okay, so what does the church have you do? The church has you take the blood of Christ and a cracker and take communion. Oreo wants you to take their communion cookie with all their satanic pedophile symbols on it and dip it in milk.
Why not dip it in goat milk? Even better, right?
And eat it. Yes. They're having you do rituals you don't even know you're participating in.
You don't even know you're doing it. You don't even know you're doing it.
Don't even know you're participating in it.
And we got a big ritual coming up with Santa Claus. You rearrange the letters on Santa. What's that spell?
That's what I just had that pulled up.
And then that Disney movie they had come out last year, and they actually mixed up the letters in the movie accidentally to where it was like Satan instead of Santa. And I mean, they put all this in front of you. What else do they have to do other than mind control you when they've got billions and trillions of dollars that they created out of nothing that you give value to? It's this big magic trick, and they're going to use that against you, and that's all they do.
So instead of, even though, yes, maybe this wasn't actually Jesus's birthday, like we can get into all those arguments.
Right.
The point is they know this is the solstice, whatever.
Right, but that's even bigger because that comes directly from God that we can all see, and we've seen that before Jesus. We've seen that before everything, to where we understand how the planets move. We understand how the sun moves. Think about it. I was talking about solar panels. What makes the solar panel and creates energy? Well, it's got to have sunlight. Okay, if there's less sunlight, there's less energy. And so if there's less energy in the sky, people are like, I hope I survive this day of darkness or this time of darkness. And then there's a celebration, the Yule log. You look at the Yule log, that's a Nordic tradition to where they take this big log on the summer solstice and they celebrate because they're like, all right, the light's coming back. They cut down a big log and they burn it and they celebrate it with fire. And, it's like, yes, we are going to live because the sun is going to rise and we're going to be able to grow crops. And, we're going to be sustained by this sun. And it's just...
Well, I want to publicly apologize to Woo Woo Dude because I always say, oh, he looks so cute in his red plaid shirt with his little white beard and his glasses because he looks like Santa. And I do not want to call you Satan in any way because I think you have a sweet spirit and a good heart. And so
blame that on Coca-Cola.
I apologize.
They did that Santa thing.
I never want to call you Santa ever again. I will never do that ever again. I apologize.
But it comes down to the spirit that's behind it. Like you said, okay, Christmas may not be the birth of Christ. Okay, whatever. They want to extrapolate that onto the pagan rituals.
But we can still celebrate the good things. Also, don't let them take the good things from you. The good things are we're together with our family, that we're thinking about, like it was for a lot of Christians, it is about the birth of Christ. So take it away from them.
Right. Exactly.
Take it away from them.
Own it.
Make it about the birth of Christ. That's what it's about for you. Put out the nativity scene, not
every day should be
star on the top of your Christmas
tree. Every day should be your birthday. Every day should be this. Every day should be, every day should be that spirit. It doesn't matter what the date is. That just accentuates it. No matter what the date on the calendar is. Who cares? The calendar's fake anyway. I mean, go by the moon cycles.
That's true too. So I have this friend not Uncle Cliff, but another friend who's a linguist, who's also a programmer, which is really interesting to think about. Like language and programming. And like when you get into all this, I love to go, I have a little OCD in me. And so if I go down a rabbit hole, I'm like, and I'm gone for a few days. So it's
pop up over here as opposed to there.
And then I have to go, hey, I have to tell you something. I need you guys to all come with me on this journey. But I have this friend and he was telling me about the language and what were we just talking about? I totally got lost
Christmas,
on my linguist.
Holidays.
Oh, the calendar. And he was explaining to me how the names of the month actually do not match up. Like November is actually
you're like
Nouveau, whatever. That means the 9th month. And October is 8th month.
So it's like, wait a minute, why is October the 10th month when
he's like, they're named the wrong things. I was like, what? So he took me down this whole thing. I was like, wait a minute. So October is the 8th month, November is the 9th month.
December should be the 10th month.
December should be the 10th month. I was like, okay.
And so that's why I always say there's so much noise, there's so many distractions, there's so many things that they've done to completely confuse us to where you got to look inward. I mean, don't look out for information. Don't look for all these people to, you can get just bogged down on all that stuff. Look inward and what resonates with you. And then
Uncle Cliff will send you an email and tell you how to make milk that will help you sleep.
There you go.
He's so sweet. He's precious. So I was sending him emails way too late into the night. And what about this? What about this? And he's like, Lisa, he's like, yes.
It's a good thing he's 2 hours behind you. I'm in the same time zone. I'm like, I'm going to sleep, Lisa.
Just turn my notifications off or just turn it on airplane for me or whatever. Because my brain just
Lisa mode,
turn it off. But I'm sending Uncle Cliff emails. And he was so sweet. He responded and he sent me 2 emails. He sent me one with a good explanation, one with another one. And then he was like at the bottom, basically like as it's over the next few years, a lot of this is going to be coming out and in layers for people. And so to hold it all lightly, which I think was his original message to us maybe a year or 2 ago.
Don't go out getting involved in riots and fighting over something you don't understand.
That's not the hill you're going to die on. That's not your fight. But to hold it all lightly, to be a place of sounding and, understanding to people. But he said he was like, and I'll share the recipe somewhere, but it was like milk, turmeric, something. I can't remember the rest. And then he was like, and don't burn it. Warm it up on the
keep it alive, keep those nutrients alive. Don't be killing it.
Yeah. So it was very sweet. It's nice to get a hug from a friend, even if it's through an email, that they're like, I'm worried about you. Please get some sleep and don't stress. No L. That's right, Doyle Wayne.
Yep.
No L. I have the cutest. I got the cutest vintage.
What the hell?
No L. There's actually that makes me think of I don't know if you guys are my age. Amy Grant was like a big deal growing up, especially if you're in the South and Christian.
Oh yeah.
There was a whole Amy Grant Christmas thing, and me and my sisters used to just sing the crap out of that. But there's a song called Noel and
Noel.
Mm-hmm. But I got this really cute little, and it's like blue and white, so it matches my living room and all that. And Cannon helped me change out the batteries, and he's like, Mom, don't touch it. This is so old. These batteries have, I don't know what he called it. Something. He and Charlie learn things together because they take things apart and put them back together. Part of his homeschooling stuff. But they like the acid stuff. So he had to clean off the connectors or whatever and then put new batteries in it for me.
Vinegar. Soak it in vinegar. Everything's good.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Vinegar on that stuff.
And then it started playing. I don't know if it played Silent Night or I don't know. Anyway, I'll show you guys. But anyway, we set that out for Christmas. It was really cute.
Or Coca-Cola. That'll definitely eat everything up.
Oh my gosh. So I picked up this amazing Indian blanket and it's wool and it has the label from the like Indian tribe that it's from, but it smells like smoke. And I'm like,
because you left in the Westwood bar too long. It's like the dogs.
Maybe I'll just bring it to the bar and I'm like, oh, here, beautiful wool blanket. It's a donation. It won't even matter. It smells like smoke. Yeah. But I was wanting to clean it because the colors on it are really beautiful. They're like salmon and this beautiful rich blue. And I don't know, they're really beautiful. But then I start watching this video, and this guy's video comes up, and it's like Bitcoin and something from 4 years ago. And he is like walking around in his boxers and cowboy boots, and he's pouring a can of Coke and some borax.
Yep.
Do you know who this is?
No, but I know what you're talking about.
In the washing machine, and he's cleaning things and doing what, and I'm like, what in the world am I watching, and who is this person? That 4 or 6 years ago, I can't even remember. It was like Bitcoin and something. And he's cleaning
Bitcoin and borax.
Is it Bitcoin and borax?
I don't know.
I don't know. I am so curious that I want to reach out to him now. and be like, and people are like, you just run that rug, whatever, they're giving him crap. But I'm like, were you really cleaning that with, he put it wasn't even a Dr. Pepper. He's like, Dr. Thunder.
Dr. Thunder. I ain't got no money for Dr. Pepper to pay for all that advertising. I got to get some Dr. Thunder.
Well, it made me think of when Mom introduced us to Litecoin. She was talking about all these, and I can't remember what word she used. And it was bizarre to me, but she was like, oh, there's all these Bitcoin bros or whatever she called it. And they live in their mother's basements so they can buy more Bitcoin. Like they won't, they will not buy new clothes.
Worship the Bitcoin.
They will not buy a new car. They drive a piece of shit car, live in their mom's basement so they can have more Bitcoin.
You're making fun of my car? What are you talking about?
I'm not making fun of your car. I did notice it was leaking today.
I don't know what that was. It was like I think it was the hand sanitizer that I had sitting there, because if I touched the gas pump, I think it was a little gel.
Okay.
Leaked out. Dog steps on it when she goes back and forth.
Just something flammable, nothing wet.
Nothing good. I don't smoke in the car, so I'm good.
Okay.
So next time you want to drive the Digibug,
there'll be hand sanitizer in it.
It'll be all good.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. That's hilarious.
Light my fire, baby.
That had to be like, you must have made your wife drive it at one point or something, and she was like horrified.
No, she's always like,
and she's like, at least I'm gonna put a hand sanitizer in it. She like makes the bar really pretty. There's always like pretty smelling like soap and lotion and nice stuff in the bathroom. And I'm always like, Westwood did not do this.
No. Oh, you're out of toilet paper? All right, hang on. Let me go get some.
Yeah, you're on your own. Yeah.
Geez.
No, she takes care of it.
I don't have a bidet like my neighbor across the street, so gotta have some.
Yeah, that seems like a personal problem.
Not going the bidet route.
I don't know. Crazy stuff.
Yep.
Well, I know. Oh, wait. My husband's making enchiladas, so he may need extra time tonight because I think he got started a little late. We bought a new light box for taking pictures of stuff. So, because I keep picking up all this glass.
A light box?
I can show you.
What's a light box?
A light box is this
Something
thing.
You take pictures with Abraham Lincoln.
See that?
Yeah.
And it has like LED.
Does it like reflect so you get good lighting when you take the picture?
Well, it has like a whole lighting system in it. And then we have the diffuser on it right now because I had all that little glass over there, which I don't know if you can even see. He took some pictures of that. And so it kept reflecting all the like the globes and stuff. And then I was like, it has like prints of pictures on it. Wait, where's my Westwood picture? There's Westwood right there. My Westwood hat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops, I gotta make myself the big one. Right around here. over Doyle Wayne's
the
name.
priceless Westwood hat, brought home by the lovely Litecoin Lisa.
It wasn't brought home. It was given to me. It was gifted to me.
My wife
by your wife.
Take it away off the property. When I said, "Hey, go make me a nice summer hat," and then Lisa said, "Oh, I like this hat."
I said,
"Take it with you."
She's like, "Oh, take it. We'll make another one." And then
Do I have another one? No, I don't.
No, but I do.
I know you do.
I have it.
But I do have a big eagle over here.
American Sniper. Yeah, we swap out. My American Sniper hat. I was
looking out for each other. I did not get you the Burlwood freaking basket because I don't leave the house.
Kidding me?
But I'll find one. I know I will. We're gonna do a homeschool trip and we'll find one.
Okay. And I want a church. If you tell me there's a church sale up there,
I'm telling you.
I have never been to church sale, and they don't have them around here. So
really?
No. You would think we'd have church sales here, but I've never had a church. And I see
you got to come to the blue state of Illinois to get a church sale.
Well, I'm just saying, if you let me know there's a church sale, I'm going to make a trip.
She's like, "Oh Lord, I have seen
there's some cool stuff at church sales because people are like, oh, I'm giving for my church. And then you get up there and you're like, really cool stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, one man's trash is another man's treasure. And there's a lot of people that do not respect and do not understand what is going to sustain in this world. And so
and the American history stuff, like I get really excited about like any of the like things that were made here. Hall pottery, like
like Anheuser-Busch? Oh wait, no, that's a company in Europe.
I heard Dana White made a contract with what are they called? The one that got in trouble. Bud Light or Budweiser. Dana White.
They're starting to make you come back. I'm seeing they're trying to soften.
Which I'm glad because that is American jobs, you guys. Let's think about it.
It's American jobs. However, the ownership, we saw that list. I mean, somebody posted in our chat.
Maybe the ownership has changed and the job will be sustained.
And the job you still have here.
Yeah.
And you have to choose what you do with your, the money
Why
that
am
you're
I so
paying.
big?
I don't know. There we go. There we go. I feel like I'm huge.
Sorry, I got distracted.
Godzilla.
I was like showing people my stuff and then I got distracted in the chat.
Yeah. But to see Lisa show her stuff, you should join her Patreon and then she'll show you all her stuff. Go join her Patreon. There's a link below and you can see all the Lisa stuff.
Well, I will be happy to show you my stuff on eBay and Etsy and all that. Yeah. Oh my god.
Links are below. No, it's
yes. It's not just the picker bug, it's like the
it's the restoration of where we came from.
I feel like it's the like saving America thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
the ideal of America. I mean, there's so many good people.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the map of America. Zoom out. Go look at it. And just traveling. And my daughter, she's traveling home right now. She's taking the interstates. And I look at the interstate she's going on. And she's going to go through Clarksville. They just had the tornado in Tennessee.
Oh gosh.
And I think of all of the people who are living outside of this infrastructure, or living outside these cities. There's so much land out there. There's so much history out there. There's so many people out there who live off the land, who create things, who build things. And I mean, that's an important part of our heritage that I think we've lost. I mean, think about living in Europe and how condensed everything is. Now you've got, all the countries and,
well, that's what I want to be proud of our heritage. You go to these other countries and their buildings are thousands of years old. Thousands of years old. And we're like, oh, there's that one house that's 100 years old.
Yeah, it's like, oh, wow.
So like, let's embrace that and try to protect that. Oh, damn. Westwood's out. Oh, he's back.
We have old ideals. I mean, we have old memory. We have that mindset. We have that freedom mentality. That's why people want to come here. Because we want to have to put it in Hitler's terms, that Lebensraum, that room to live, just those wide open spaces, don't start singing. But I mean, those are important things. And when you look at the map of America, it's just amazing. It's an amazing, open spaced. I mean, look at the night. Go look up, if you search it up and look at nice book. But if you look up our book folder or whatever it is, speech folder, folio.
So yeah, the American, what's it called? Where they save things.
Americana?
No, the foundation where Hunter's stuff. They just turned over all that historical documents. What's it called?
Oh, the National Archives.
National Archives. They sent me a form, and I have to fill out this form to be able to give them that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got to play ball.
But they're interested.
That's good.
They would like a donation.
There needs to be a preservation. And so, all right, a little bit of a tangent, not so much. We talked about last night, Steak being from Europe. He's like, I kind of feel bad because he works around people, like you said, he works around people who are
struggling,
less fortunate. Yeah, they're struggling. I mean, and there's always that struggle. And he feels bad that, my investments in crypto, the things that I see coming, all the research that I've done, I think I'm going to do very well. I'm speaking for him. And he said that, I feel badly that all these other people are not going to do well and they're going to struggle while I do well. And see, that's what the elite, that's what the vampires want us to feel.
Yeah.
Because they're
going to be freed from the slavery system.
You're going to get freed and you're going to feel guilty. Okay, so what do you do about it? And my point was, take the monetary system out of the way. You do well, it's up to you. I mean, form a charity, form an orphanage, form a foundation, form something to help other people. And so that's up to us to where, I mean, you can get immensely wealthy because you invest in crypto or some other asset. And so it comes down to, what do you do with it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are you going to help other people with that asset, or are you going to isolate yourself and live behind, this gated community in Malibu or whatever it is? And it's like, but no.
Think about Howard Hughes, how miserable he was.
Right.
Because so many people went after him asking for money and whatever, and then he just stopped trusting everyone. He ended up like naked in like psycho whatever.
Yeah, you're just
sessions. Yeah, harming himself because he was so paranoid. Like,
you're going to take my stuff. And it's like, here.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this.
Do not be burdened. Yeah.
Exactly.
Make it a burden to give it away. Yeah. Let the burden go. Yeah.
Let the burden of money go away. You know what you need, and you know what you need to be happy. You should. If you don't, you better figure it out. You better reconnect with yourself and go out and look at the stars. I mean, go out with the dogs and look at the stars, and then realize where you are in this world and in this whole schema, why you came here, what your path is. And if you do much greater than you thought you ever would, and you're like, I don't need all this, take that and do something good with it, because you have the opportunity. Why are you relying on government to redistribute your wealth when you can make the decision to do good things on your own? Be a good deed doer. It reminds me of the Wizard of Oz. There's a lot of good deed doers, and they get accolades. I mean, go watch the Wizard of Oz. I mean, seriously, because that tells a lot of truth. Go watch that movie. Buy it on DVD right now. I want to see.
Buy the book, because there's a chapter in the book that is missing
the book and the movie.
From the movie, and that is the chapter of China, the China doll. So in between the poppy fields, is it in between the poppy fields?
We had the whole opium thing in China.
There is a chapter about them going, and there's this little China doll, and she can't go with them because she keeps breaking. Everything keeps breaking every time they try to keep going with China or with the China doll. And the cow's legs break. Everything breaks going in the China doll's world. And Dorothy thinks she's helping. And she's like, well, I'll just take you with me. And she's like, just leave me here. I belong here. So, like, do we stop trying to bring China, broken things, over here? You know what I mean? Let them be a healthy economy over there. We're a healthy economy over here. USMCA, that sounds familiar.
This is why I love the lovely Litecoin Lisa, because she looks at things on this ethereal level and she puts all these pieces together. And that's what she did with my daughter, break pieces, put them together. I mean, and that's what she does. And it's so very important to look at that and resonate with that. And you're not looking at it from an analytical standpoint. You're not looking at it from a, this all, accumulating all this knowledge. You're like, no, I see a connection here. I see a connection here. Connect the dots. Boom. There's a dot. There's a dot. There's a dot. And this is my reality. And because I trust what I believe in, and I trust that this is telling me something. I trust the universe is telling me something. And this is the discussion I had with the person I brought up earlier. You get to the point where I don't even need to go to school anymore. I don't need the certificate to say that, I'm an educated person.
Right.
No, I don't need all this stuff. It's all right here. You were born with it, and you came here with all the knowledge that you're ever going to need. And you need to tune into that and reconnect with that and make those connections, because it is all biblical. It is all, spiritual. It is all that is, as Benny says, warrior. It is. You
And
gotta
there's
get in
no
that mindset.
timeline in all
There is
that
no
is
timeline.
that is. And so for us we think there's a timeline. So, oh, well, that hasn't happened yet. So you won't be able to understand it. There's no
I
timeline.
gotta
So
do it by this date. I
as
gotta
soon
do
as
it by
you
this time.
understand it, that is the timeline. So
Yes.
you
You're in the
can,
flow. You're in the
that's
river
part
of
of the
life.
manifesting
You're
thing.
in the
Yeah, I
canoe
think so too.
going
And
down.
Doyle, you won't be able to Google it because
No.
Google will block all that. That's part of like what we were trying to say earlier is the
You
corporations
don't need it.
have
You
taken
don't need
over.
it.
Yeah, you don't need to Google it, but you might find a physical book somewhere from like the 80s or earlier. I have one from the 80s that shows her in the silver shoes, and it
Yes,
talks
the
about, it
silver
has
shoes.
the chapter with China in it.
And you
So
can still find these things. You go to these little stores, these thrift shops, the
yeah,
people are
look at
throwing
old
away,
used bookstores.
giving stuff away, just giving it away.
Mhm.
Take it. It's taking
Knowledge.
up space. Take up space in your mind. Put it in your mind, absorb it, and then you'll awaken. And I don't know what it is, what that trigger
So
point is.
there's a website called estatesales.org. I will just ask everybody, if you have some time this weekend, like I don't get anything from this. I'm just a little fun challenge. Go to estatesales.org, scroll through, you can put your location in, it pulls up estate sales near you. Pull up something and go and just walk around one or two of them and see what resonates to you. Maybe put a limit, like we're only going to spend $10. We're only going to spend $100, whatever. But then walk around and see what resonates to you. And, whether you're Google Lensing it or eBay searching it, or you're just looking for things that are interesting to you, or saving history, or like this amazing picture of one of America's heroes that I got to rescue. Like, that is so cool. This is a Navy guy from World War I, in this amazing frame that I have the privilege of now having in my home. Like, I have an American hero, a picture of an American hero in my home. I think that's so cool. So you have to do what resonates with you, what's important to you. But
trust yourself. You are more important than you realize, is really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
You just got to accept it. Accept that. Accept the journey. I mean, you chose to come here for a freaking reason.
Yes.
Press it.
Make sure he didn't fall down. Yeah. So I love you guys. I'm going to let you go. Are you going to maybe do a spaces? Because you're going to be up. Wait.
I'm going to be waiting for my daughter because, I can't go to sleep. I can't, so, I mean, she'll probably roll in around midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. So spaces will probably go to that
Might as well.
See those headlights roll in and,
I'm excited. Okay. Well, I'll join you. And I don't know if Jenny's doing a live. Last Friday was really fun. We, a bunch of us jumped on Jenny Moonstone's Patreon and got to visit with her live. She was doing a live Friday night one. I haven't heard if she's doing one tonight or not, but
Mark Williams spaces. Yes. And I love that because it gives the opportunity.
Parker, estatesales.org.
Parker?
Parker's on Twitter. I don't know if you can see it because you may be looking on just.
Oh, he's on Twitter. Okay, he's probably not on YouTube. Parker,
YouTube,
yeah,
Parker joined.
Alabama man. Love it.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so it's estatesales.org, and you can do your location, and then it shows like what's around you, and you can even preview some of the pictures of the sales, or they'll tell you like, oh, we're 50% off today, or this and that. Anyway, it's kind of fun. I want everyone to get the bug.
Yes, we got to get the bug, the real bug, not the bad bug.
Don't eat the bugs. Get the bug. Yes.
Yes, get that bug.
Save America.
That bug within you.
Yes.
Preserve what we have and realize that America is a spiritual thing. It's not. It's not all the places. It's not all the things. It's about a spiritual connection. It really is, because if you think about what the Constitution is, it is about being and allowing you to be. We gave the mandate to Congress that said,
yes,
hey, let's maintain who we are going to be. Let's maintain us as human beings. And you people need to protect that. Do they protect that now? Okay, probably not. And so it's up to us. It's up to us individually to maintain that spirit of humanity and carry that forward in an intangible thing, idea, connection with each other going forward, to persist, to exist. And it's just, the truth inside is really what it comes down to. And that's why I always say, trust yourself. You know the truth, you know what you're connected to. You just have to, it doesn't take that much.
That's going to be the way out to freedom, though.
It really is. That is
trusting yourself.
It is.
And that's where like more and more of us are going to have to reassure people like, that when they say I think it's not going to be so much about them coming to us, asking us things. It's going to be about us listening to them and then saying, yes, I agree. And reassuring them that they are hearing the truth from within themselves, not us telling them the truth.
Yes, that's it. It's validating them for who they are. Validating people for who they are. Yeah. And that's the most important thing you can do, is validate people for who they are, because they have their own path. It may not be your path, but you realize and you can see through all the bullshit, and you realize that, you know what? They're walking their own path.
And that's okay.
They're doing their thing.
Yeah.
And they understand, and they're connected to something else, and they're tuned into a different frequency. You think of the AM radios in the cars, and you dial it up in the old twist turn, the old cars. Lisa, you know all about that. Get that right frequency, and once you hit it, you're like,
oh, because
boom, there it is. Lord, I'm tuned in. There's all these other frequencies, but this is the one that matters, because this is one that matters to me right now, because I feel it in my soul. And I should have lived in the 50s. I've always thought that, I love that 50s music.
See, I thought like the 20s or 30s. I lean to the 20s on me. Like, I love all those movies. I love all that stuff. I love the Art Deco. I love like all of that hardcore.
It's probably because that's where you were.
I think that was my maybe last life.
Yes, exactly. So we came back, and so we know the things that activate us and inspire us, and that's the most important thing. Find things that inspire you and stick with it. Doesn't matter who the artist of the day is. Doesn't matter who's telling you this, telling you that. Find those things that inspire you to be who you are, so that you can follow your path and speak the truth of who you are, and live that life of no regret. Because you don't want to die with regrets. You don't want to say, I should have done something. I could have done something. I had the opportunity to do it and I didn't do it. Don't be on that hospital bed, taking those IV drips. No, do what you can right now. Do everything you can. Feel it, embrace it. When it's out there, doesn't matter if people think you're nuts. If you're nuts, you're probably doing the right thing, because you're going against the grain. You're going against all the ridiculousness that's out there, funded by all the fake money. Just know the truth, feel it, and go with it.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it anymore.
I love everybody out here. I love this chat. I love everybody. I love the lovely Litecoin Lisa. That's why I call her lovely. So
I love you too, Westwood. And I love our fam, our magical internet friends. We'll see you guys on Twitter Spaces tonight. Follow Clint Westwood. And it's _ all caps, Clint Westwood _. Go find him. Oh, wait, this way.
America's not the government, people. The America is you. It is the Grand fucking Canyon, the Rocky Mountains, the deserts of the Southwest, the Pacific fucking Ocean, the Atlantic fucking Ocean. It is the grandest continent. And what the fuck have you people done? You have turned yourself into sheep, every goddamn one of you.